Hello and welcome. My name is Tyler, and I will be walking you through the Rural ICD-10 guide for creating an ICD-10 communication plan. Please feel free to check out our website, ruralicd10.com, for more videos just like this. Before we begin developing our communication plan, allow me to take a minute to discuss what it is and why it's important. Let's begin with the question, what is a communication plan? Well, the most basic definition that I can give for a communication plan is that it is a plan for communication. It's really that simple. This plan will keep all of your stakeholders in the loop during the course of your project. Now the question becomes, why do we utilize a communication plan? I can hear the criticism now, we have never utilized a communication plan before. Why should we start using one now? We already wear too many hats and we're stretched too thin. This seems like a pointless, non-essential task. So that might be a bit too harsh, however, I have heard that before, and it's a valid concern. I don't want you to do more work than you have to do. So here's my answer as to why this needs to be done. If you don't communicate what's going on, it's human nature for people to assume that nothing is happening. I would hate for you to work hard on this project and your key stakeholders assume that you're unprepared. That's the importance of the communication plan. So let's dive right in and develop one together. One question you're asking is, who should develop the communication plan? That should be developed by the project team. However, the ultimate responsibility does fall on the project manager to develop, execute, and monitor the communication plan. What you're looking at on the screen is a Microsoft Office Word document with a table inserted. Something I like to do with all of my ICD-10 project documentation is to brand everything with the hospital's logo and color scheme. So you can see in the top left-hand corner, I have the Rural ICD-10 logo, and I have the document title here, which is the communication plan. And beneath it, I've got my hospital, which we'll pretend is General Hospital, and then part of the ICD-10 project. And you'll notice too, at the top of my table, that the background is olive green, the same color as the brand of Rural ICD-10. Again, this is not a necessity, but it does make it look a little more professional, and honestly, it does not take very much time. On the communication plan itself, you'll notice that it has 6 columns. We see type of information, prepared by, sent to, purpose, frequency, and channel. Let's go ahead and dive into those. The first column, the type of information, is just simply what kind of communication we are sending out. So it can be status updates, documentation tips, industry updates, etc. And we'll look at that in a minute. The second column is prepared by, so who is sending out this information. The third column is sent to, where is this information or communication going. The fourth column is purpose, why are we sending out this information. And the last 2 columns are frequency and channel. Frequency is how often this communication is going out. And the channel is what is the medium or the mode that this communication is being sent. So let's do one of these together. As you can see, I've already got one started. This is going to be an executive status update. So this is prepared by the project manager. It is going to the executive sponsor. The purpose being to inform the executive sponsor of project status. The frequency, this is going out once a month. And the channel that we're using is email. Now this is just an example. You do not have to follow this to a T. For instance, you might prefer to have a monthly meeting rather than a monthly email. That's completely up to you. The most important thing is that we have it documented on our communication plan so everyone has clear expectations of what to expect. So let's do one more together. Let's do one with physicians. So let's do a status update for our physicians. And let's say this is prepared by the HIM director, sent to the physicians that practice at the hospital. The purpose being we want to inform the physicians of the hospital's project status, industry updates, and training opportunities. Frequency is going to be every quarter, and the channel for this information to be communicated is going to be the med-exec meeting. Again, this is just an example. But here's a helpful hint. When communicating with physicians, it's best to use existing communication channels. What I mean by that is that you don't want a separate ICD-10 newsletter or meeting, you want to go ahead and use existing communication channels. For instance, for this example, we'll use the Med-Exec meeting instead of having a separate meeting just to discuss ICD-10. The same applies with any communication that's going out, whether that's a publication or a newsletter or an email we want to use that information that we already have in place, and we want to carve out a section just for ICD-10. We do not want to develop new content, a new newsletter or a new email that goes out. We just want to eliminate that. That will really cut down on some of the clutter that the physicians already receive. So those are the basics of a communication plan. Just to sum up, a communication plan is used to manage the communications for the project. It's simple enough. You need to utilize one to make sure to send out consistent, timely information. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was beneficial, and please check out Rural ICD-10 for additional resources.